Welcome to a brand new week here on NFL Daily. I am merely Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us as we are looking ahead to the 2025 NFL Draft, the 2024 Draft in the books. And it is a little too early, maybe, but that's okay to be looking ahead to next year's draft. ESPN's Jordan Reid put out his first mock draft for next year. We'll go over all 32 picks. Some trades included as well. The draft order, by the way, is based on the Super Bowl odds from ESPN Bet and then how they would reflect in the NFL playoff standings as well. So we'll go over that in just a matter of moments and give our thoughts on the selections made by Jordan Reid here on today's show. Before we do, I got to ask you, what team won the 2024 NFL Draft? What team stood out to you among the rest that had the best performance now that we're a couple weeks removed here from the NFL Draft? Weigh in the comment section. Let me know who you think that team was, and we'll get started with today's show. With the first pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Carolina Panthers trade the pick to the New York Giants, and the Giants trade up to select Carson Beck, the QB out of Georgia, one of the Heisman favorites in 2024. The Georgia Bulldogs, one of the heavy contenders for the college football playoff this year, coming off their first missed playoff in the last couple of years and where the national championship streak ended. They'll look to get back on track and have Carson Beck lead the way. With the second pick, the Commanders go with another player from Georgia as Mykel Williams, the edge rusher, gets selected by Washington. Then New England at 3, they go offensive tackle. Will Campbell out of LSU, getting some protection for Drake May there in Foxborough. At 4, with the Panthers trading from the Giants, they move down a few spots, and they go edge rusher from Tennessee, James Pearce Jr., who just a few days ago, PFF was projecting that he'll be the number 1 overall pick in next year's draft. And then our next quarterback off the board, this would certainly be a party, as ESPN has the Las Vegas Raiders selecting Colorado quarterback Shedeur Sanders, the star quarterback for the Colorado Buffaloes, started his career at Jackson State, followed his dad to Colorado, coming off a disappointing 4-win season, but he was electric and had a chance to be a first-round pick in this year's draft, ultimately opted to stay in school, and now he's got a chance to prove himself. I'll say this, I like Shedeur as a terrific talent. I didn't like how he handled the recent comments about one of his former teammates transferring out and all that, so we'll see what he does with some growing up to do. But nonetheless, what do you guys think? I like Shedeur Sanders more than I do Carson Beck personally. I think he's the best quarterback in this draft. What do you guys think? Is Shedeur the best quarterback in the 2025 draft? It's our pinned comment today. Let us know what you think. Y for yes, N for no. Is Shedeur that dude? Let me know in the comments section. At 6, the Denver Broncos go with Kelvin Banks Jr., the offensive tackle from the University of Texas. The eyes of Texas are going to be on him this season with the Longhorns. Meanwhile, at 7, we find Will Johnson, the corner from the Michigan Wolverines, headed to the Arizona Cardinals, while his teammate Mason Graham picked right after him. Back-to-back Michigan players who are back for more after last year's national championship team. Graham joins his former teammate J.J. McCarthy there in Minnesota, the defensive tackle from Michigan. Meanwhile, Abdul Carter, edge rusher for Penn State, heads to the New Orleans Saints. Penn State with a really good track record of edge rushers as of late. While rounding out the top 10, we find Luther Burden III, wide receiver from the Missouri Tigers, the first wide receiver off the board. Not the best year when it comes to receivers in this upcoming draft, comparatively speaking to what we saw this past year, but Burden slides into that final spot in the top 10 there with Tennessee. Then we move ahead to the 11th selection, the Seattle Seahawks. Mike McDonald, after his first year in Seattle, he gets maybe the best athlete in this year's draft. That is Travis Hunter out of the University of Colorado, expected to primarily be a corner at the next level, but maybe we see a team potentially let him play both ways, at both corner and receiver. And Mike Macdonald would certainly have a lot of fun adding that type of weapon to the Seahawks for sure. The Steelers, they have two quarterbacks right now, Russell Wilson along with Justin Fields, but Jordan Reid not too sold on the long-term prospects of those two, as he has the Steelers going with Quinn Ewers, the quarterback out of the University of Texas. He's got a ton of pressure on him, and there's always going to be pressure when you're the quarterback at the University of Texas. But with Arch Manning sitting in the wings, waiting for his name to be called here, how's Quinn Ewers going to perform? And the way I look at this, folks, is that if Quinn Ewers has a very good year in 2024, it's a golden opportunity. I think scouts are going to love that. If he can rise to the occasion with Manning right there on his heels, if he can be a top quarterback and take Texas back to the college football playoff and get into the SEC, it's a little risky, sure, having Arch behind him, but there's a chance for a big reward ahead for Quinn Ewers if he has a big year in 2024. Who is the better QB in Austin? Is it Quinn Ewers or is it Arch Manning? Could we see the Manning legacy start this year in Austin? What do you guys think? Type Quinn for Quinn Ewers. Type Arch for Arch Manning. Producer Big Tex, he's being a loyal Texas fan. He's just spamming both of them in the comments section. Join him in the comments and let me know which one you're going with. We have NFL rookie jerseys on sale now at chatsports.com/NFL jersey. Whether you want to represent Caleb Williams or Drake May or Jaden Daniels, maybe it's a player from your favorite college team or your favorite pro team, whatever it may be. We got plenty of options for you, and you can get yours now at chatsports.com/NFL jersey. These jerseys are going fast. They are going quick, folks. And we have all sorts of different sizes, men's and women's options as well. Something for everybody. Chatsports.com/NFL jerseys where you can get yours today. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. That's chatsports.com/NFL jersey. At 13, the Buccaneers go corner from Notre Dame, Benjamin Morrison. Well, at 14, the Indianapolis Colts go Malachi Starks, safety from Georgia, as the Dogs continue to represent in the 2025 draft. Then at 15, the Chicago Bears go edge rusher from Florida State, Patrick Payton, there with the pick. At 16, the Chargers, they go wide receiver with Teatrill McMillan out of the University of Arizona. And at 17, we see the Jags. They go corner, finding Denzel Burke out of the Ohio State. Well, at 18, the Browns go offensive tackle Emory Jones Jr. from LSU. 19, the Rams, they go defensive tackle as they pick up Deion Walker from the University of Kentucky. And then at 20, the Atlanta Falcons, they go edge rusher as they will not be taking another quarterback in next year's draft. Nick Scaronton, edge rusher from Texas A&M, is the pick for Atlanta. At 21, I think this guy's the best receiver in this year's draft. I'm surprised he went this far. Emeka Egbuka out of the Ohio State. He had a chance to be a first-round pick in this year's draft, ultimately decided to stay in school, wants to contend for the Big Ten, finally beat Michigan and go out there and win the national title. He's back there at Ohio State this year, and he'll be the Buckeyes at #1 receiver. This would actually pair him up with Garrett Wilson there in New York, with two Ohio State receivers leading the way there. Then at 22, we see Colston Loveland, the tight end from Michigan, to the Miami Dolphins. At 23, the Green Bay Packers, they go edge rusher JT Tuimoloau out of the Ohio State. He was another guy that could have been a first-round pick at this year's draft as well. At 24, the Texans, they go linebacker Harold Perkins Jr., one of the best returning linebackers in all of college football in 2024, to Houston. Then at 25, we see edge rusher Danny Dennis Sutton out of Penn State, as a couple of edge rushers from the Penn State Nittany Lions come off the board already through 25 picks. We'll finish the rest of this first-round mock in just a moment, but we want to know, who's your favorite prospect in the 2025 NFL Draft? Is it Shedeur Sanders? Is it Mykel Egbuka? Is it Quinn Ewers? Let me know in the comment section. Give me a name that you're excited about in 2025. Maybe it's somebody we're not talking about right now. Let us know in the comment section below. NFL Dailies got you covered each and every day with the latest happenings across the National Football League as we bring you daily news and rumors. We're also bringing you live shows a couple days a week as well. And we are staying up to date with everything that's happening. What you need to know across the National Football League, we got you covered. Subscribe now for free. Join the family and never miss a moment. Best part about it, 100% free. YouTube.com/ChatSportsTV. Subscribe now. You'll be glad you did. All right, the Dallas Cowboys, they go receiver Evan Stewart, wide receiver from the University of Oregon at 26 overall. Well, we see another Longhorn, Isaiah Bond, makes the move from the Alabama Crimson Tide to the Texas Longhorns. He's expected to replace Xavier Worthy and Adonai Mitchell as the de facto number one receiver in Austin this year. He goes to the Bills, who they could probably use Isaiah Bond right now, if we're going to be honest here. Meanwhile, at 28, we see the Bengals get some offensive line help. They go offensive guard Tyler Booker from Alabama. At 29, the Detroit Lions go edge rusher with Ashton Gilliette with the selection. Then at 30, the Ravens, they go edge rusher with Landon Jackson from the Arkansas Razorbacks. At 31, the Kansas City Chiefs go with Kenneth Grant, the defensive tackle from Michigan, another Michigan Wolverine off the board there. And you got to give credit to Sharon Moore for the job he's done to really keep all this talent away from the transfer portal despite Jim Harbaugh leaving. That's going to be a very good team to watch. Won't be a rebuilding year for the Wolverines. It'll be a reloading year in 2024. And the final selection of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Super Bowl champion San Francisco 49ers? Wait, somebody actually thinks they're going to get it done in February? That's funny. They go Walter Nolan, the defensive tackle from Mississippi. Began his career with Texas A&M. Texas A&M moves on from Jimbo Fisher. He enters the transfer portal, heads to Mississippi. And I got to tell you, I really like that Mississippi team this year. What Lane Kiffin's putting together, getting a guy like Walter Nolan, who I think is going to be one of the best defensive players in college football. Not only does Walter Nolan have a chance to be a first-round pick and an All-American, but watch out. The Ole Miss Rebels, I think they got a chance to compete not just for the SEC, but for the national title this year. Don't sleep on Ole Miss. I'll tell you that right now. What do you think of Jordan Reid's ESPN mock draft for 2025, the way too early edition? Give your grades in the comment section, A, B, C, D, or F. I don't hate it, to be honest. I'm going to go solid B+. Give me your grade in the comment section. We'll see you next time right here on NFL Daily.